What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Big Dog Brett. Thanks so much for tuning in. Let's see here. What is going on with my camera, bruh? Why is it in for? No, we got to fix that. Stand by. There we go. That's a little better. Man, that was fuzzy before. Hey, let's see what we got in the chat here right out of the gate. Husker Gray, how you doing this morning, Smoking Dog? Good to see you, sir. Yeah, Shelly Mack, welcome to the channel. James Willoughby, what's going on, sir? And Sarah Crane, one of our resident veteran members here. She's been here for a hot minute, boy. She says, hit the like button. I couldn't agree more. That's an excellent idea, decision to improve my and your life. So do that. Having a lot of fun today. Let's see. Can I change cameras? Will it let me change cameras? Maybe it will. Let's see. Ooh, I don't know if it'll do it. It might screw up. Let's see. Hey, I can change cameras. Hey, I added a third camera. Check this out. This is ridiculous. Will it do it? Yeah. What's going on, man? So I found some extra USB cameras I've had around the house. So I wanted to hook them up just to have a little fun. So you guys kind of get a different perspective of the way things look, I guess. Yeah. Hey, bro, does having Dr. leaving, DR leaving opening a scholarship slot? DR, yes, it does. So, yeah. What's going on, D4 Sports? Hey, D4, I need you to send me your email, bro. Or email me your phone number. Got so many cameras now, I don't know what the heck to do with them all. Yeah. So I'm having a little fun with the cameras today, guys. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. It's kind of cool. It's kind of cool. So I'm going to turn off the Smurf Blue camera back here because it's kind of annoying right now. There we go. Whew. I think I'm gonna run this one today. I haven't run this camera in a while, so I'm just gonna run it. How's that look? Does that look good? So I hear something. I don't know what I hear, but I hear something. So anyway, I haven't done a show in a while. Been busy doing stuff. You guys know how it is. So the biggest, I guess the biggest news right now is that we've had a few the decommits from Georgia. One of them being what's going on, Crimson Brave? Jarvis, motivated, dedicated, and highly educated. Well, as much as he can be. Daniel Rivera, what's going on, man? Been a while. Man, transfer portal is good for Georgia, but also bad for all the teams, including UGA. I don't think so. The transfer transfer portal is an outstanding tool for players to use. Thanks, James. I've had this camera. This is actually my old camera, but I haven't set it up for this. Thanks, D4. I haven't used it on this in a while. I've been using this other camera, which you guys are probably more familiar with. Not that one. That's my top camera. Let's do this one. This camera. This is the one you guys usually see. And the reason I use this one is because it has such a wide angle lens. Like, it's super wide. Like, this camera looks like I'm sitting like 6 feet away, and I'm not. This camera is, I can reach this camera. I mean, that's how close it is. But it looks like it's a lot further away. Don't want to use the wrong grammar. You are correct. I don't want to use the wrong grammar. How about your Sooners smoking Texas? Yeah, need to tighten up. Hey, D4, we got to get you on the show, man. We need to have you come on and do a live show with us at some point. Not a live show. We can do a live show, but I'd love to have you on for like a regular. Looks crisp this morning. I have been playing with this camera. This camera says it's 1080p. That's what it says. StreamYard broadcast in 720, but yeah, such a wide camera to show all that Georgia glory. This isn't as much stuff as it looks like, and I'm wanting to redo this entire wall. So yeah, but this particular camera is really, really picky about color. So none of the lighting is going to change. Everything is set where it's at. The lighting is actually set up for this camera. But watch what happens when I change over to this camera. Look how much better the lighting looks. If I angle this down just a little bit. But yeah, Rosemy, Jackson, Burton, Smith, and Gilbert. D-Rob might have been fourth string. He might not have played at all. Yeah, so I guess I'm just going to run this camera to the day. I got some stuff up here. I finally mounted something on this wall. I had no reason to mount anything on this wall because for so long, everything was, the camera faced that way. So there was nothing to put here. So when I put this camera up, there was like this big giant white spot. Oh, it was just blank. I was like, I got to move something. So I took this off the other wall and moved it over here. Good old Lutube coaster. And then the Lutube coaster from Slob Olympics. It's Celine, Lou, and Pigskin Pete, and Raj on it. And this is my parking pass from the Missouri game where we shut them out last year, or year before last, excuse me, when I went to that game. So, yeah. Dominic Blaylock. We'll get into that here in just a second. Guys, there is a ton of stuff out there we can talk about. Of course, the first thing I really want to talk about is the transfer portal. The Georgia seems, at least in my opinion, to be making the most out of the transfer portal. It gives Georgia an opportunity to allow players that want to leave the program, that aren't necessarily excelling, to leave the program, but it's also allowing players that should or we want to come to the program to go ahead and come to the program. So that definitely helps with the scholarship situation. So we don't have so much to worry about. What's going on, Trenches? One of our resident members. Oh, let me go and shout out to the members here. James, I think, was the first member in the chat here. James Willoughby, Alex MLD, and of course Between the Trenches. These are all guys that have found it in their deepest recesses of their heart to sign up to be a member. I think the cheapest one's like $4 or $5 a month. It might be $2 or $3 a month. I can't remember. But this is stuff that helps me. You help support the channel. It allows me to be able to buy some stuff, get artwork done, get logos and stuff done, which, by the way, Web Payne, I haven't seen him in a hot minute, but Web Payne, if you're out there, sir, thank you so much for all you do. There's a ton of us YouTubers out there that he's helping out right now. I don't know. Thanks for signing up, D4. I really appreciate that, man. The contributions that you guys make help with things like getting better lighting or adding something to the wall to make it look a little more sophisticated, a little better. What do you guys think? I want to get you guys' opinion real quick. Do you like this camera view better than the other one? Or do you like this one better? Now, obviously, I can put the blue light on over here, but I kind of like both. I like being able to switch between the two. I just wish this camera was clearer. And I don't have $3,000 or $4,000 to go out and buy these fancy high-end cameras that a lot of these YouTube superstars are using. I'm just not there yet. Maybe one day, but not right now. So, yeah. Somebody, thanks, Alex. Somebody mentioned that, funny, I got breakfast cooking while you're alive. I normally do breakfast on Saturdays, but I didn't feel like it today. So, yeah. The contract extension for Nick Saban, I think it's 3 years or something. I don't know what the amount was. I'm sure somebody knows, but I don't know what it is. But whatever that amount is, how could you balk at it? Oh, here it is. The base salary and talent fee of $8.425 million for the current contract year will increase annually throughout the length of the contract. This will also be a contract completion benefit of $800,000 payable at the end of 22, 23, 24, and 25. So by 3 seasons. So this, how can you be upset with that? 2028 for Saban. Yeah, $8.4 million. Golly, that's a lot of money. That's so much money. I can't understand how much money that is. I just don't get it. What's going on, Huffer Billy? There's so many things that you can say about Nick Saban, but undeserving will never be one of them. There's nobody out there who's more iconic in college football than Nick Saban. I would wager to say that Nick Saban is more memorable to a point than Bear Bryant. And Bear Bryant is kind of recognized as being the all-time greatest. If you look at what Nick Saban is doing against the competition he's doing it against, it's absolutely incredible. Year after year, he's able to make that team championship caliber. Even in years when they don't win the SEC championship, they manage to win the national championship. So that is pretty noteworthy. So just very impressive. I made this announcement on the members only channel, but I'm going to make it for you guys now, just so you know. My son has enlisted in the U.S. Army. This was his decision. We did encourage him to pick a career path in the military that would provide him some substantial training for when he got out. He's going in to be a computer specialist. And in the military, that particular MOS, which is a 25 Bravo, MOS is military language for your job. And as in the military, everything has an acronym. So, he's muscling up. It's something he's prepared for, something he's excited to do. He's going to get to have some really exciting experiences, and it's going to be one hell of an adventure for him. Couldn't be prouder. He's going to be a great guy. What's going on TikTok? Chess Hall. We're going to be okay with the people leaving, and good luck to your son, brother. Thank you, sir. What's going on, Samuel Pate? How you doing, sir? Much respect to that. Anybody who's willing to raise their right hand and volunteer their life and time to serve this country and keep us all safe and free will always have my respect. So I'll make sure I pass along you guys' encouragements. Much appreciated. One of the things I am going to do at some point, once he gets kind of into his basic training, which he won't leave for basic until the end of July, I'm going to get together and have all of us put together maybe a big care package and send to his basic training platoon. I'm sure it would be something very exciting for all those guys. For those of you who don't know, I'm also a veteran. I think most of you guys know that. And it's one of the things I'm very, very happy I did. I learned so much in such a small amount of time. It really helped me become who I am today. And I can expect the same thing to happen with him. So appreciate all the support, guys. Let's talk a little bit more about football this morning, since that's what we like around here. 5-star defensive tackle Bear Bryant decommits from Georgia, and don't worry, I'm going to get to D-Rob here in a little bit. It looks like Bear Alexander, just said Bear Bryant earlier. This is kind of part and parcel. This happens all the time in college football. Absolutely salute to all the vets. Rainy day in Birmingham, Alabama. It's kind of raining over here today too, sir. North Georgia. Definitely going to do a care package. He's a great kid. He is, sir. Thank you. Appreciate that, Trenches. Can't stand Dan Mullen, just saying. That goes without saying, sir. I don't know anybody who can stand that guy. But yeah, I digress. Let's talk about some of the things that happen during a recruiting cycle. For those of you who kind of new to the recruiting cycle and don't follow it super close, there is a tremendous amount of kind of musical chairs that happens during a recruiting cycle. You're going to see 5-stars commit, and you're going to see 5-stars decommit. You're going to get some hard commits, and you're going to get some warm commits. And some of these kids, honestly, they're so excited. And you're talking about 16, 17, sometimes year old kids. University of Georgia, University of Alabama offered me. I'm gonna take it. They get excited. And then after a little while, all these other schools that start sending the commits, and the recruiters say, hey, look, we understand that you're really impressed with Georgia, but we also understand you say you're committed, and that's fine. But don't you think you should come take a look at some of what the other people can offer? I mean, you really shouldn't just jump right in without at least knowing what's out there, right? And you got to understand, a lot of these recruiters are really smooth. They get these guys excited, and they say, you could be missing a huge opportunity here. If you go to a team like Georgia, Alabama, Clemson, Ohio State, if you go to one of those guys right out of the gate, you're probably going to sit the bench for 2 years. You're a 5-star talent. Look at what happened to Justin Fields. He transferred and he got to play. So maybe you should look at a school where you could get to play right out of the gate. And that can be very persuasive to young people. You say, look, this SEC school, let's just say it is Texas A&M that he's looking at, or it is Texas that he's looking at. And they say, hey, look, we can get you in right away. We'll get you to play first year. First year, guaranteed to play. And he's like, I really could use that. Yeah, I know about Devonta Smith. Trust me, I know about him. It's just part and parcel. So these guys go to these other schools and they try it out and they find out they have really good chemistry with that particular program or with those particular coaches. It happens. It really does happen. But am I going to get all upset and sideways because a 5-star decommitted because he wants to go take a look at Texas A&M or Texas? No, not at all. It's all part and parcel. It's just the name of the game. So to get all bent out of shape because you get a couple of decommits, you immediately get knee-jerk reactions from a lot of fans when a 5-star decommits from their team, if they ever had a 5-star commit to their team. Oh no, what's going on? There must be a problem inside the program. No, there's not a problem inside the program. These kids are just exploring their opportunities. That's all it is. Kane Man, I think that's how you say that. Look, I wish him luck and understand you want to play, but I think transfers quit on their team, aka their OV. Again, this is just opinion, but like I said, good luck. Well, let's talk about D-Rob a little bit. Let's be fair. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. Cadet Major, nice. Let's give these kids their due. Okay. Now, whenever you're a fan of your team, whether you're a Georgia fan, whether you are a Florida fan, whatever your team is, you are bought into your team 100%, right? So you're a big fan and you want to make sure that everybody that commits to your team, they love the team as much as you do. You got to understand, a lot of players don't feel that way. There's a few players out there that they grew up in Florida. They've watched Florida. The day I watched Florida, they love Florida no matter what, they're going to Florida. That happens, yes. But you also got to understand a lot of these kids' main ambition, main drive is that they want to play pro football. Maybe they didn't get an offer from Alabama. Maybe they have an opportunity to go show off their skills somewhere. D-Rob, that closer to home stuff, I hear that stuff all the time. I'm not sure how much I buy into that. But what I will say is when you got a player like D-Rob who does have some talent, if you put him on a team where he's not 6'2", he's not 6'3", he's not the iconic wide receiver type, but he's got some talent, playing on a team with somebody who's equally as talented as you, but has a bigger reach, it's difficult to show off your skills. So him transferring is really not so much as maybe he didn't like the program or he didn't love the program or he's quitting on the program. It's most likely because he has got to go somewhere to be able to show off his talent set. He might be going to UCF. The guy's 6 foot tall. He's 6 foot tall. He's fast. When he played at Cal, he had like 600-something yards in a season. A year before last, he had 300 yards. And last year, he only had like 110 yards or something. You're not going to the NFL with those kind of numbers as a 6 foot tall wide receiver. It ain't going to happen. So if your ambition is that you want to go pro, granted, love your program, guys. Love your program. But I'm trying to get to the big league. Then he's going to have to make that transfer. And it's the same with a lot of players. They've got to go where they can get the proper amount of exposure where NFL talents are going to be able to see him. Yeah, RMF Todd says D-Rob was never going to play at Georgia. He was probably not going to play much this season, and so I don't blame him. I don't blame him at all. He might go to Jackson State. He might go to UCF, but nobody really knows. It's hard to say at this point. And to be honest with you, love D-Rob. It was his last shot. I'll take that. It is his last shot. It really is his last shot. I mean, you look at the guys he's playing behind. I mean, you got to understand that unless unless D-Rob, something magical happens. Let me look up. Unless you're looking at playing behind somebody that you can supremely outperform. For instance, Rosemy Jack Saint, right? 6'2", 195, highly rated 4-star, number 8 wide receiver in the nation with a rating of .9734. He was a hair away from being a 5-star. Then you look at Jermaine Burton, right? Jermaine Burton had a great year last year. Jermaine Burton had some times where he was just out there killing it, right? Jermaine Burton is 6 foot. Jermaine Burton, is a wide receiver. He's out of California, but I mean, geez, dude. Let me see his stats. Let's look at the 2021 season. Let's just look at the HTML. I don't need the PDF. So one of the things I like to do is I like to pull up the stats on these guys, and I pulled them up before, but every time I see Jermaine Burton's name, I always think of Jack Burton from Big Trouble in Little China. I know that's probably weird, but now if you look at Jermaine Burton last year with 27 receptions, averaged 15 yards a catch, 404 yards. Whenever you've been on the team for as long as D-Rob has, and your numbers are 20, they're 25% of that. You're built the same way, same size, probably about the same speed. These guys are pretty quick. And that's the numbers you can't beat this guy. You can't beat this guy. So let's look at another guy. Let's look at Dominic Blaylock, because these are all people he's got to play behind. He's got to beat he's got to beat these guys out for stats, right? He's got to beat these guys out for everything else. All right, so Dominic Blaylock. Last year, he's 6'1", 195, out of Marietta, Georgia. Didn't play last year, but in 2019, he had 18 receptions for 310 yards and averaged 17 a catch for 5 touchdowns. Think about that. At about every 3 to 3.5 times that you throw the ball to Dominic Blaylock, it's a touchdown. You're not beating that guy. You're not. You're just not. Who else is coming back? Oh, well, let's look at Eric Gilbert, right? He's a guy who's also going to be lined up in the slot, right? So Eric Gilbert, anybody want to take a guess at how big he is? Oh my goodness. Eric Gilbert, 6'6", 255. Number 1 highest rated tight end in the nation. This guy can catch, man. This guy can play. So when you got a guy like that, D-Rob with 110 yards, you're going to beat that guy out? I don't think so. 35 receptions last year for 365 yards, averaging almost 11 yards a catch. This guy's a beast. He's an absolute beast. And he's 5 to 6 inches taller than the other guy. So when you're looking at a reach advantage, he's going to kill it. What's going on, Jay Martin? UT is a dead program. He can do better than that. I'm not sure they are. I'm not sure UT is a dead program. Yeah, it's absolutely a personal business decision, sir. You're right. Just SEC alone is a hard conference to compete in with all the talent. I would not be surprised to see D-Rob go to the Big 10 or the Big 12, play for a higher powered offense. I would not be surprised to see him show up on an Ole Miss or even a Mississippi State. I would not be surprised to see him show up on a program that's going to be able to get him the kind of exposure that he's looking to get. I mean, it's pretty obvious that he's looking to make a decision to get into a better place in his life. Tennessee. I thought you were talking about Texas. I'm sorry. I don't think Texas is in the trash can. I think maybe Tennessee might be. Y'all guys do know the XFL and USFL will play in the new year, right? I did not know that because honestly, the last like 2 or 3 times that I have tried to get into the USL, FL, whatever, it has not panned out well. Like the Atlanta Legends, what what a disappointment that was. My goodness. I mean, I can certainly do some USFL, and I'm going to change the name to I'm just going to call that the UFL because I'm not going to say that mouthful every time. But as far as the XFL, I'll get into that too. If they got a local team, I guess I'll have to pick somebody. But yeah. But there's tons and tons of stuff coming out of the transfer portal. It's a big benefit to these teams and players to get the guys where they need to get them to, so these guys can get in pro if that's on the list. All right, so let's talk about the other elephant in the room. Let's talk about the 12 team playoff system. Oh my Lord. They're considering it. That's the thing. They're considering it. My question is how in the world are you going to do 12 teams, man? How in the world are you going to do 12 teams? I mean, you're talking about taking. All right, let's talk about who would you put in if it was this year or last year, whatever. Let's talk about it. So let's go ahead and throw in Clemson. Let's throw in Alabama. Let's throw in Ohio State. Let's throw in Oklahoma. Let's throw in Georgia. Let's throw in Texas. Why not, right? What's going on, RN? Okay, I'm at 6 teams. That's 6 teams. Who's the other 6? Thanks, Alex. Who's the other 6? Okay, Florida. I'll throw Florida in there. Fair enough. I'll throw Florida in there, of course. Okay, I'm at 7. Give me 5 more. Give me 5 more. I got UF in there, RN. That's 7 right there. I got 7. What are you going to throw in Cincinnati? Okay, let's throw in Cincinnati. Okay, let's throw in UCF. Okay, that's only 9. We still got 3 more to go. Ole Miss. Okay, Ole Miss. That's 10. Give me 2 more. Notre Dame. No. Not doing Notre Dame. Sorry, Daniel. Give me 2 more. Iowa State. Iowa State, really? Is there anybody in this chat section that thinks an Iowa State or a Notre Dame could get through a gambit of Georgia, Clemson, and Georgia, Clemson, and Alabama? Now, do you think any of those teams, maybe Texas A&M, do you think any of those teams could get through a Clemson, Alabama, Georgia undefeated? Yeah, they do a top 25 for a reason, mostly betting purposes. Penn State. What was Penn State's record last year? Oregon? No. Here's what I'm saying. A 12-team playoff system is absolutely unnecessary. You don't need it. You don't need it. It doesn't matter if they can give them their shot. They have their shot during the regular season. That is their shot. So, Coastal Carolina. Somebody's just trolling now. Listen, if you want to make an argument for, I could see an argument for an 8-team. I could see an argument for 8 teams. I get that. You could go Georgia, Alabama, Clemson, Ohio State, Oklahoma, Texas, Florida, and then what? Cincinnati Bears, or maybe swap one of those out and put in Texas A&M. Any time that you put Notre Dame is in a conference in all of their sports except football, and that's why I will never give them any respect. 16 playoff wouldn't work because somebody would have a weird bye week. It wouldn't work. 8 teams would be perfect. But here's the thing: the more teams that you put, the more teams you have in a playoff system, the more SEC teams you're going to have. Because there's not 2 teams in the ACC. There's not 2 teams in the Big Ten. There might be 2 teams in the Big 12. But for the most part, it's SEC. That's not me saying that. I'm saying that, but that's not me. You look at the number of players that go into the NFL, the vast majority of them come out of the SEC. Look at all of the teams that win the bowl games. The vast majority of bowl game wins go to SEC teams. If you look at the vast majority of recruits, they go to SEC teams. The top ones do. So it's gonna pan out that long as you have that cycle, you're going to have a lot of SEC teams that are recruiting top talent, winning big games, putting players in the NFL. And that cycle is going to repeat because when you have all of those players that are going to the NFL, I mean, that's one of the big things that these recruiters talk about when they go in and they tell a player, hey, look, we know you got a lot of talent. We want to put you in the NFL. We think you could get there. We have the qualifications. We put 8 guys in the draft last year. We put 11 guys in the draft last year. Talking to you, LSU. That's how you get recruits. That's how you get recruits. Now, when they show up and they see you got an $80 million state-of-the-art locker room system, that definitely helps. But if you have 0 guys that have ever been to the NFL, there's some guys that's not going to come to your school just because of that. So, yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where you need to have 8 teams. I've talked about this ad nauseum. You need to have 8 teams. Take the 5 Power 5 conference winners. Take whatever independent you want to take. If it's Notre Dame, it's Notre Dame. And then you still got a spot. You still got 2 spots left, right? So you can pick up a UCF or even a Cincinnati Bearcats. You could pick those teams up. Then that would drop immediately from 8 teams to 4 teams. So basically you're adding one game to a season. Just one. So here's the thing. When you do 12 teams, you go 12 teams, cut them in half, you got 6. Okay. Now what happens? Somebody's getting a bye week. So you're always going to have that complaint out there of, well, they played an extra game or they didn't play an extra game. So imagine this. Just hear me out. You have Notre Dame who goes undefeated in their season. They're not a conference champion, so that's one less game right there. Then it's a 12-game playoff. They play in that first game there, and then they get a bye week. So now the 2 teams that they end up playing a national championship, they have played 2 less games than the team they're playing in a national championship. And I'm sorry, that's unacceptable. Unacceptable. I think D4 Sports says, I think the 12-team playoff makes games like Clemson and UGA less relevant due to one team will still be sitting at the top 10 if they lose. Both of these teams will be sitting in the top 10. Who's going to challenge Georgia? Who's going to challenge Georgia in the regular season? Just like who's going to challenge Clemson in the regular season besides those 2 teams? Nobody. Then when you get to the SEC championship, okay, but I really don't think Clemson has anybody they're really going to play in that game either, unless there's some big surprise out of North Carolina, which I don't see that happening. But on top of all of that, if Clemson loses to Georgia and then mollywops the rest of the people, they're going to put them in the playoff because they're going to win their championship. They've already proven that they'll take a team with 1 loss, even if it's not it's not a championship. Appreciate that, Slim Mosley. Thanks, sir. I'm ready for season 2. They can't get a bye. They don't belong in a conference. I would agree, but, they kind of do what they want to. Hey, what's going on, Michael Vick, MVP? Most valuable players at the Slob Olympics. I don't think there is any way you can make a 12-team system fair because somebody's playing extra games. What's going on, Melissa? How you doing? Kane Man, from what I heard, yeah. Lots of top teams are having new quarterbacks. That's true too, but I mean, these teams see that every year, man. They see that every single year. For those of you who are new to the channel, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and share. Do me a favor, send this to somebody. Put it on social media. Put it on Twitter, TikTok. Share it on your the YouTube page, whatever. I've had this coffee cup for so long, I'm wearing the paint off of it. But I like this coffee cup. So for you guys over here, you can see it's insulated. It's these steel ones. Man, this thing keeps coffee hot for hours. That's important for me because I'll get to drinking coffee and forget that I've had my coffee cup. It'll be sitting over here, and I'm like, oh man, I forgot my coffee cup. That's still hot. Who's a better YouTuber, Big Dog Brett versus Uncle Lou? I can't make that decision. He's obviously got more subscribers than me. I think he does a heck of a job with this video editing. He does some really awesome stuff there. But the content choice, that's up to you guys. I like Lou. I watch his stuff. I watch tons of people's stuff. For those of you that are on the channel who don't know, go watch D4 Sports. Go subscribe to him. He's a YouTuber who has a channel. What's going on, Not Just Rocks? Thank you, sir. Go check out Mike Vick. He's got a YouTube channel as well. Between the Trenches, he's got a YouTube channel as well. All of these are really good people that have YouTube channels that do content. Trying to see who else is on here that has a YouTube channel that I know about. TikTok has a YouTube channel, if he's still in here. What's up, OG Stoney Jackson? I'm sorry, sir. I saw the Oregon comment, but I didn't call out your name. Sorry about that, sir. There's quite a few people in here that have YouTube channels, and these are all good people. I mean, this is I really honestly think I have the best comment section on all YouTube. These guys are awesome. I think that Alex, I think that Lou is a little less UGA in the off season, but it's because there's almost nothing that you can really get into. I mean, there's just not much there. Hold on one second, guys. Sorry about that. That was the Walgreens wanting to refill my prescription. Oh no, I fixed it. I just muted it. So long story short, guys, I don't think there's any good way to be able to handle the whole 12-game playoff system. I don't think that's going to work real well. I just don't. There's one of the big reasons for me is that I wanted Notre Dame to join a conference and not get into the playoff without having it a championship. Wasn't just because of championship, it was because it's an extra game. If you look at what can happen in just one game, if any of your star players get hurt, if your quarterback gets hurt, your best running back gets hurt, your best wide receiver gets hurt, your team is fundamentally changed. Fundamentally changed. I get it. Next man up. Yeah, that's fine. But can you imagine what would have happened if Joe Burrow would have went down like game 4 for LSU? I guarantee they wouldn't have a natty. Can you imagine what would happen if Devonta Smith would have went down in like game 6 or 7? They probably wouldn't have a natty. Can you imagine if Trevor Lawrence or Travis Etienne would have went down? I mean, it changes the game. I didn't know that, RN. I appreciate you letting me know that. RN says they're already proposed that if you're not in a conference, you can't get a bye week. And while I would love to see that, it directly goes against getting in the best team. What's going on, Apollo, man? What's up, Brandon Lee? It goes against the getting the best teams in there, because if you don't put the best teams in there, then what are you doing? I mean, highest they can be is 5. Well, in a 12 game, like I said, there's ways that they could do this right, and I don't think they're doing it right. That's just me. Sarah, I live in a small town. We actually get a phone call, like a person calls us. That's why I answer the phone for them. Otherwise, they just send you a text message and you can reapprove it. Yeah. Let's see. Says it'd be amazing if LSU would have never won that natty. Nah, I get what you're saying, but at the end of the day, I would rather have an SEC team win it because it helps recruiting overall. What's up, Mike Taylor? Big fan of the playoffs, man. Been wanting it since I was a kid, but 8 teams, why 12? Money. It's about money. I do get the pre-recorded calls sometimes, but it's usually usually they will call straight up. So now I'm going to give you guys a little bit of a nugget here. For those of you that are listening to the channel now or watching the channel later, I'm going to let you know, coming up on Tuesday, me and Pigskin Pete are going to be doing a show together. I'm going to record it. I'm not sure if we're going to do live or not. But I may record it and then do some editing and put it out. But we're going to do a show together, and it's not going to be a trash talk between Clemson and Georgia. It's going to be an honest comparison back and forth. Trenches, don't touch my drum set, bro. I'm telling you. You touched my drum set. We're going to do an honest comparison back and forth about what Georgia lost, what Clemson lost, what's Georgia's strengths, what's Clemson's strengths, and the weaknesses between the two, and just talk back and forth. So I think it'll be a really, really good. What's going on, Colby? I think it'll be a really good video to put together. He's really in depth with Clemson. I'm really in depth with UGA. And I think that kind of conversation back and forth would be really interesting to have. So for those of you that are interested, I was watching Cops, man. Sorry. It comes on at 4. The that kind of video I think would be very, very good. Both of us are pretty analytical, but I think it'll be good. So be looking forward to that. That'll be Tuesday. I might get it up Wednesday. We'll see what happens. As the season progresses on, there'll be iPods. I'm getting too old for all this technology, man. I'm falling behind the times. There's going to be a podcast that I'm going to continue to do with Trenches. It's called Third and a Mile. He's currently doing some stuff on his channel. He's doing season breakdowns. If you guys want to go check him out, some really good stuff over there. Sarah Crane says, guys, I am 5.5 weeks post-op from my knee replacement and tendon release surgeries. No pain meds, no cane, and back driving. Way to go. I want to hear your dirty little mouth say it. That's a great movie, man. So look forward to seeing number 5. Yeah. Well, I want to see Arian Smith. That's who I want to see, man. That's who I want to see. So I made let's see if I can find it real quick. So I made a new logo for the podcast for me and Trenches. So if you guys want to see that, I'll show it here. See if I can get it up on the camera. You guys ready? Here we go. Yeah, that's me and Trenches right there, guys. Hope you guys get a kick out of that. Burners. Trenches, good people, man. Good people. I'm gonna make that into a shirt. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna make that into a shirt, man. That's hilarious. Oh, so while I got all you guys in here, and if you're watching after the fact, if you're watching this, drop down in the comment section, and don't forget to hit the like, hit the thumbs up for me. I appreciate that. But I want you guys to tell me whether you would rather me come out with more shirts, or you guys would like to see different coffee cups, or whether you guys would like to see some hats. I don't mind doing any of those. I'm thinking I'm going to make some hats. But yeah, probably going to do that shortly. But yeah. Well, guys, we're running on about the 45-minute mark. You guys know that I do these long, drawn-out, forever long broadcasts. But yeah, we mainly need a quarterback. This whole stickers. I need to make some stickers for sure. Hats for fat heads. Hey, dude, listen, look here. You see this thing? This will fit over the top of a 5-gallon bucket, sir. I'm with you on the big heads, man. I cannot wear no tiny hat. I got small hands, but this melon over here, dude, I put a 5-gallon bucket on and it leaves me with hat bands. So yeah, I get having the big hat stuff, dude. I'll get some hats going then. Got any stickers? No, I don't have any, but I can make some, sir. If we can't win a natty in the next 5 years, and now we're, brother, no, because I'll be honest with you. While everybody is jumping up and down wanting a natty, everybody wants a national championship, and I can't blame them. Put stickers on my kayak and cooler. I'll get some stickers up today then, dude. I'll do that. I'll definitely do that for you. I appreciate that. It'll be over on my Teespring store, which you guys will be able to see. The link should be in the description after the video's up. You'll see that there is I'm going to watch Georgia no matter what. You know, if they're 5-8, I'm still going to root for my team. One of the big problems we have is that there's fans jumping up and down. We got to win a national championship this year. Listen, nobody out there wants the natty near as bad as I do. At least I believe that. But if my team doesn't win the natty, it's not like that's anything new to me. I'm not going to stop watching my team. And if you look at the stats, you look at the way everything piles up, you know, even as a Georgia fan, even being a homer, I want to be super objective and super critical when it comes to this stuff. I'm going to tell you right now, there's only two coaches that have done anything near what Kirby Smart has done stats-wise, and that is Nick Saban and Dabo Swinney. And both of those guys have numerous national championships. What's up, C-Dog? Mr. Daniel Sykes says they can lose them all. I'm still a fan. What's going on, Slim Shady Canes? You guys are jumping in late, man. You guys got to put on click the bell. And there's Keith. What's going on, man? Something tells me there will be no Bama ones. What do you mean Bama ones? What are you talking about? By the way, ever made beanie hats? No, I haven't, but I can put those on there. That falls within the category of hats. And the reason I didn't do it initially is because I was trying out the store to see what would happen. But then after that, I got kind of irritated with the company because the company told me that you had to basically pay them to just design a hat. And I'm like, well, you guys didn't charge me anything for the shirts and the leggings and the coffee cups and all the other stuff. Why would you charge me for the hats? So I got irritated with that. So I told him pound sand, but I guess I should go back and do it. Keith said, doesn't matter if the bell goes off while I'm sleeping. Ding, ding. Get up. He said, I hit the bell. Sorry, I'll watch the replay. No worries. Just so you know, C-Dog made a video of where he's now a Clemson fan. I mean, I guess when you're a Georgia Tech fan, you got to do what you got to do to get a win. I'm just saying. It ain't going to be against Georgia. Ain't going to happen, sir. No. C-Dog, how's it going to be whenever you have jumped ship, picked another team, and they still lose to Georgia? I'm going to wear you out. I'm just letting you know. Uncle Lou says, can I say no? About what, Lou? Say no to clicking the bell? You can do whatever you want. I don't think anybody can make Lou do anything anyway. And then the other thing I'm always surprised about, especially with Lou, is like how many people want to fight him at the Walmart or something weird. It's like, yeah, what a bunch of idiots. Let's see. Oh, I guess he's talking about just no in general. What do you think about D-Rob entering the transfer portal? I think it's what needed to happen for D-Rob. D-Rob only caught like 110 yards last year. You look at the guys around him, you got 6'2 guys, 6'6 guys. You got other guys that are the same size he is that has 4 times as many yards. He needs to go somewhere so that he can not develop but show off his talent set. He's not going to be able to do that with the roster UGA has at the wide receiver position. So I can understand why he's going to another school. I'm not mad at the guy. It's a business decision. He's been at UGA. He's stuck it out through some tough times and where he's not getting a ton of action. Is that because we have bad quarterbacks? Maybe. But part of that is that when it's time to get the job done, he's not getting it done. Now he's made some beautiful catches, but I just don't know how well he would have fared this year. And he's basically got one more year to put his talents on show to get picked up by an NFL team. Just no in general. Brian Korth, I'm a Gators fan, and Lou is very watchable. Lou, I don't know if I would accept that as a compliment or not, sir. D-Rob's got a good talent set, but is he going to be able to shine on a UGA team? Probably not. He may end up going to Jackson State or something, but who knows? Maybe Dion can do something with him. Sea-Dog says, Crimson Brave must live in Georgia around a bunch of Georgia fans. That's just why you hate them so much. Huffer Billy says, if UGA ever wins the Natty again, run for the hills. You know what? There will be a lot of feisty Georgia fans for sure. For sure. The entire state will breathe a collective sigh of relief, except for the Georgia Tech fans. They may die. They just fall over and just die. Alex says, we want all the Bama fans to shut up. He needs to get out of the SEC. He can't get off the line from scrimmage against Pressman. Nope. He's talented, but in the SEC, he's not going to be able to show off. If he ends up going to like a Texas A&M or something like that, he's going to be in the same situation he's in now. If he, maybe he needs to go to a Pac-12 team or a Big Ten team or something like Iowa State where he can show off a little bit, but he's not going to be able to do it in the SEC. I appreciate that, Brian. I really appreciate it. I try to make content to make you guys enjoy your day, have a good time. It seems to be a challenge to find enough time to do it. My life is pretty busy and hectic right now. Pretty much all this week, my work day has started at about 7 o'clock, and I've gotten done at like 8 or 9 o'clock at night. So by the time I get back home, spend some time with my family and kids, try to eat something, and sit out on the couch and just breathe a minute or two. I'm basically about to fall down and go to sleep. So I run through a shower and then drag myself into bed and get up and do it again the next day. Then try to find time to make another video. So I wanted to make a video yesterday about D-Rob decommitting, but I was on the road. By the time I got done and got home and ate something, it was like 10:30, and I'm like, I can't. I'm tired. Figured I'd get up and do a live show today. So I'm here. Melissa, you're one of the. She says, "I wish a lot of our fans would shut the heck up too." Are you talking about Alabama, Melissa? I'm guessing. Melissa is one of the good ones. So bring it, woo. I've spent a week on YouTube going back to all the 1980 comments and them to F themselves. Okay. I'd say D-Rob could go to Georgia Tech, but he has too many stars. Two stars would be too many for there. There's a lot that can happen in between now and when we play Clemson. But one of the things I will say is that when you take a player out of the mix like D-Rob, it's kind of addition by subtraction, because now you have one less guy to have to develop, that bond with, that cohesion, to be able to get in a rhythm. If you got, 5 or 6 guys, 5 or 6 guys is a lot different than 7 or 8 guys. So, yeah. Slim Shady Kane, thanks for the super chat, sir. He said, which would be more annoying on YouTube, Miami or UGA fans after winning a natty? Well, it would definitely have to be UGA fans, because you're about the only Miami fan I know of, except for maybe Grady. I'm going to be a jerk. I'm going to go ahead and tell you. I have a shirt that I got at the Belt Bowl game when we beat the crap out of Louisville. My cousin has seen it, and it's got some profane language all over. I'm wearing that shirt. D-Rob saw the writing on the wall. He did. He probably, I would almost say guys like that at that level have already started talking to agents, talent agents, scouts, and those guys are probably telling him, look, if you don't have a blowout performance this year, I don't know that you're going to get drafted, dude. So you got to do what you got to do. Just is what it is. I would imagine Miami fans would be pretty intense, but there is so many more Georgia fans that have lived through this drought that we've gotten so close so many times. I'm probably going to cry. I ain't going to lie. He said, Uncle Lou said, I'm driving to Sea Dog's house after a Natty game with my bullhorn. Oh, I'm going to meet you there, Lou. I'm going to meet you there. I'm going to toilet paper his house, too. Crimson Brave says UGA by a mile. The Disney dog days of Mark Rick. Yes, sir. That's exactly what I would call it. It's a beautiful thing, man. It's beautiful. I lose my mind, man. I would lose my mind. I don't know what I would do. Hey, what's going on, Sergeant AR? UGA by 21. 15-0. I love the enthusiasm. I love that. But I'll be honest with you. If you want to bet UGA by 21 points, I might take that bet. Because that's a lot. Considering that UGA only averaged I want to say 31 points a game last year, that means we'd have to hold them. We'd have to get 31 points and hold them to 10. I just don't think UGA can do that. Every UGA head football coach in the last 60 years currently lives in Athens, Georgia. Is that weird? I didn't know that. But that seems a little weird. It seems a little cultish, maybe. Whew. He said, I have a comb shelter ready. Hold on. Just so y'all know, I'm reading this right. I have a comb shelter ready, stocked with cans of beans enough to last 40 years, and I won't come out. Hey, Lou, what is a comb shelter, sir? That's some of that Georgia Tech high English language there that we don't speak. Can't take it back now. I done put it on the big screen. It's too late now. Got to get my comb shelter to go with my math water. I'm bald. I have no idea about combs. Oh, my goodness. Dooley, Goff, Donnan, Rick, and Kirby. I didn't know that. Crimson Brave says Slim and Melissa Mosley. Oh, my goodness. Get out of here with that. I mean, Clemson is our only big game this year from what I see. No, whoever we're playing in the SEC championship is going to be a big game, guaranteed. So Georgia's essentially going to play in 3 playoff games this year. We're going to play the first game of the season. We're going to play the SEC championship. Then we're going to play in a playoff game, and then we're going to play in a natty. And I've seen Sea-Dog. I'm pretty sure he hasn't seen a comb since the pre-COVID days. Hold on. Y'all want to know what Sea-Dog's hair looks like? This is what Sea-Dog's hair looks like right here. He said, I'm going to grow out them locks of love. Sea-Dog got some long hair, man. That's for sure. That's Sea-Dog's hair, for sure. Just as plastic and crinkly looking. I don't want your leftover mange. Goblin TV says, Brett, is it really a concern that several 5-star kids have decommitted from UGA? What's really going on in Athens? What's really going on in Athens is a typical run-of-the-mill recruiting that you see all the time. It's just kind of under a microscope because it's a 5-star player. 4 and 5-star players decommit all the time, recommit, change teams. They do all kind of stuff. I mean, it's just what ends up happening a lot of times is players get you take that back. It's silky and gorgeous. Listen here, Maui. No, it's not. No. Sea-Dog can do anything but float. Sea-Dog wants his hair long for his wife to pull. Sea-Dog has opened up a can of worms over here. Players decommit all the time. 5 stars rotate in and out. If you look back over the years, there's been tons of times that 5-star players have left Georgia. That's just what happens. These guys come to the program, they get all excited, and all of a sudden they decide they want to go view somebody else. They're committed, so they want to decommit, and they just want to open up their options. They want to see what's going to be the best path for them. There's tons of players out there that, you know, if they come over, they look at the depth chart, you know, they get offered by a team and they look at the depth chart and they find out, oh crap, I'm probably not going to play for 2 or 3 years. Then they have a team that's, you know, a really quality team. And they say, you know what, this team, I might be able to play right away. They're building something good here. I can be part of a building block rather than, you know, something on top of the mountain. That happens all the time. They both decommitted after visits to Texas A&M. They did, but I mean, that could be more coincidence than anything else. So who knows? Clemson is roadkill. Florida will be a dumpster juice in October, and we're not losing to anybody. I like it. I completely agree, especially the dumpster juice part. UGA to slaughter Clemson. The one thing that I really hope keeps happening is that UGA keeps getting kind of put on the back burner the you know, as far as the favorites for the game. I think it just gives them billboard material. Lou says, number 1, rant about UGA decommits. Number 2, rant about half team playoff. Or 3, rant about the C- Tater given delusions of grandeur. What should I upload today? Yes. I would say I would love to hear you rant about the 12-team playoff, because I think it's ridiculous. That's just me. I think 12 teams, there's no way to do 12 teams and do it right. Somebody says Uncle Lou number 4, all of the above. C-Dog, you can't talk about recruiting because your team can't do it. And here's how you know. If you see a 5-star and they say he committed to Georgia, nobody on the planet even puts Georgia Tech in the stratosphere of thinking it could be Georgia Tech. It's not there. Committed to Georgia. Oh, he's going to love it in Athens. Bama, Top Dog says Bama loses 3 games again this year. What? No. 12-team playoff screwed Notre Dame. No, Notre Dame screwed themselves by being Notre Dame and not joining a conference. I'm still upset at Clemson last year for losing to them. Granted, y'all beat the fire out of them the second go around, but losing to Notre Dame, how do you do that? Why would you do that? Did you guys bet on the other team and then throw the game? Good Lord. So Jackpot and C-Dog riding Clemson this year. Of course they are, because they can't ride their own team. You guys go check out C-Dog. He's got a pretty decent show over there, even though he's, doesn't have any good common sense. Lives in Georgia, but has to go after Georgia Tech for some weird reason. He's a long, silky-haired nerd. Oh, here comes the excuses up for Billy. We had half the team out. Took 3 overtimes. You did. Okay. I've been saying since January, Bama will lose to Miami, Florida, and Ole Miss. I could see them losing maybe to Ole Miss in some kind of weird shootout, but they ain't losing to Florida, and they ain't going to lose to Miami. Crimson Brave says Notre Dame barely beat Clemson's second string if Clemson didn't make stupid mistakes. Shoulda, coulda, woulda. We'll never forget Lou calling Jake Fromm a trash can in his video. Well, it was accurate. It was accurate. Florida, huh? Right? Whew. don't know if you guys can hear this. See if I can get it right up to the mic. Let's see. Probably can't. My mustache hair is so flat that, like, when I roll it through my fingers, it goes just weird. Because, like, I'll do this, and then every now and then, when you got a mustache, you get facial hair, and it gets in your mouth, and you're like, "What is that?" Oh, it's freaking mustache hair. It's annoying. It's gross. You'll eat those words. We get rid of the triple option and have 4 stars left and right. After a 3-win season, kids want to go to Atlanta where things besides cow patty. What? Have you been to Athens, sir? Have you been to Athens? He said, okay, maybe a little trolling in the Florida pick. First of all, if I was some buff jock and I wanted to go to where a bunch of beautiful young ladies were, I would most certainly go to Athens. It's like 3-1. I'm not even joking. It's like 3 girls for every 1 guy. I think one year Georgia almost got in trouble because of the amount of girls that had enrolled into college versus the number of guys. I mean, it's ridiculous. Like, walking around during the G-Day game, I was like, where's all the dudes at? I mean, not that I was looking for dudes, but I mean, it was just such a blatant imbalance. He says, I know Athens. Well, it's 3 hours from anything. No, sir. No, sir. Athens is the epicenter of everything. So you wouldn't understand that because your football team's so terrible, nobody wants to go there. Dabo likes to poke at detractors and create chaos. He does, and he does a good job of it. Scoping for dudes, man. I'm searching for another stepbrother, man. I believe there will be some early upsets, lessons learned. Maybe. But yeah. Listen, I've worked in Atlanta for 3 or 4 years, and I can tell you right now, more girls are going to college than guys now. That is true, especially at Athens. But driving through Atlanta, I mean, don't get me wrong. There's some nice places in Atlanta, but the problem with driving through the Georgia Tech campus is you can't tell if those are students or homeless people. You can't. So, I mean, I know the one with the shoe. Oh, you guys are awesome. You guys make my day. All right, guys, we're rolling on about 1 hour and 10 minutes here. Getting a little low on coffee. Gonna go hang out with my wife and kids for a little bit. Hey, Alex, send me an email, man. Let's do lunch sometime, man. I'm in Atlanta quite a bit. You should have went to the Rick Springfield concert in 81. I would have been there, sir, but they would have had to push me up there in a stroller. Goblin TV wants to know, Brett, what is your honest opinion? I know some analysis have Georgia in the natty, but recently we keep finding the banana peel. Do you think we at least get to the playoffs and beat Bama? Yes, I do think that we at least get to the playoffs and beat Bama. The reason behind that is that there's a number of factors that have kind of really piled up on Georgia's side. We have an outstanding college football in general has shifted to offense. Got to be offense. Got to have a 40, 50-point offense. You live on the south side, man, you come strapped. This man got an arsenal. Live on the south side. Dang. Georgia's got a lot of talent on the offensive side of the ball. This is a first full offseason Todd Monken has had to be able to work with the offense. This is the first full season for JT Daniels. A lot of people aren't giving JT Daniels as much credit as he should. Look at what he did last year with a bad knee. People say what they want to. I've seen enough running backs with blown out knees to know when they say you're ready, you still need another year before you're yourself again. So I would expect him to be more mobile this go around this year. You add into some freakish weapons like Dominic Blaylock coming back and Eric Gilbert. If you look at the days of yore, whenever you have the greatest offenses, they have 3, 4, and 5 excellent wide receivers. You know, Waddle, Ruggs, Devonta Smith. I know Waddle and Devonta Smith, you know, I get that dichotomy, but not playing at the same time. But if you look at Clemson when they won, they had outstanding. They had like 3 and 4 weapons to throw to on the offense. You know, Trevor Lawrence is not the most mobile quarterback in the world. He is somewhat mobile, but he's not the most. He's not a Joe Burrow. He's not a Johnny Manziel. He's not those guys, but he's mobile enough. And I think that's where you're going to see. I think that's where you're going to see JT Daniels kind of step up to the plate. Georgia got a stable in running backs. The offensive line is a little inexperienced, but if you look at what they did last year, even though JT Daniels was getting, you know, not a whole lot of time to throw the ball, he was still able to produce some pretty insane numbers. All right, Kane, man, I appreciate you being on, sir. I'll catch you next time. If you look at the fact that Georgia was able to do what it could do with a quarterback that only played like 5 or 6 games, because we had the weapons on offense, we didn't have a spring practice that he didn't work with those guys. And for some stupid reason, we're using Stetson Bennett. I mean, Georgia was leading at halftime against Alabama with Stetson Bennett. Think about that. Now tell me that you think Stetson Bennett is as good or better than JT Daniels. So if you add that culmination of things in there, I think you can see the offense is going to take a pretty big step forward. I think that's going to give Georgia what it needs. If you want to win a national championship, you got to be scoring on average 40 to 45 points a game. That's just necessary now. If you're going to win a national championship, you got to do that. Defense is important. Georgia has strengthened up its cornerback situation and defensive back situation dramatically. We still have Lewis Seen coming back, who's probably going to be one of the best linebackers in the country. Georgia's defensive line is going to be pretty stout. So if it's going to be one of the best, if not the best in the country. Georgia is not really doing a whole lot of focus on running the ball, but which is probably going to help us a little bit against Clemson, because Clemson's probably going to have the best defensive line in all of college football next year. So I don't expect Georgia to be able to run the ball a whole lot. We'll be able to maybe, you know, get 2, 3, 4 yards here and there. Georgia's got a stable of NFL run backs. So we'll see how Todd Monken works that in. But when you couple in the fact that you've got an Eric Gilbert, you couple in the fact that you got a Darnell Washington, you're looking at Dominic Blaylock, you're looking at Jermaine Burton, you're looking at Rosemy Jack Saint Jack, whatever his name is. You're looking at Justin Robinson coming in. A lot of people don't realize who that guy is. He's a 6'5" superstar in the making. Who's a wide receiver. Go look up Justin Robinson. He's an addition to the team that nobody's talking about. Incredible athlete. He could fill in some of the roles of where you would need a long, tall guy to go out and chase down a 50-50 ball. JT Daniels is much more of a gunslinger where he trusts his players. He will put the ball up and then say, go get it, versus Stetson Bennett would try to force the ball into place. You know, Jake Fromm was a very, very safe, careful quarterback. Like if a guy wasn't wide open most of the time, it didn't seem like he would throw the ball. But yeah, when you get 40-plus points a game like we did in 2018, I agree. I think that JT Daniels is a better quarterback than Jake Fromm, and I feel like we have as many weapons on offense. We don't have a Roquan Smith, but Lewis Seen's, he's going to be close. So it's going to be really interesting to see what we get. Yeah. Everyone is saying Robinson didn't play to keep him off film. That may be the case, but he's absolutely incredible. What about Pickens? What up with that kid? Blew his knee or ankle out or something. I think his ankle. So he's out for most of the season, and he may not come back at all. If he comes back at all, it'll be close to the end of the season. So he's not going to be able to help UGA at the beginning of the season. So we'll see what happens with that. Yeah, I mean, it just kind of is what it is. UGA is going to have a banner year. UGA needs to bring home a natty. Is JT Daniels good enough to do it? Probably. But it's going to be the weapons that he can throw to. I mean, picture this. Just help me out. Just help me out. It's third down, and let's just say 3rd and 8, right? You line up. You go to the ace formation. You load up Jermaine Burton on one side of the field. Or let's go all tall guys. Let's go Justin Robinson, wide receiver. Then you go to Dominic Blaylock on the other side of the field. You go to Darnell Washington at the the tight end position, and then you go to Eric Gilbert lined up in like a running back position off to the right. Who you going to double cover? Because you can't double cover them all. Who in it are you going to stop? Because you got to pick one because you can't stop all of them. So nobody has enough superstars on defense to stop that kind of offense. You just don't. They just don't. Then you got Curious Jackson. What you going to do with him? I don't know that the UGA O-line versus the Clemson front seven will be the factor of the game. I really don't. Because even though that front seven may get the proper push, you got guys like Darnell Washington and Eric Gilbert. If they line up on the same side, one of them's catching the ball. You can't stop them. Listen, you cannot stop them both. They're too dad blame big. You've seen Darnell Washington catch a ball 3 yards from the line of scrimmage and then drag 4 players to a first down? You've seen that, right? He's 6'7". If he jumps up in the air, everybody's got to try and tackle him, not knock the ball away, because most of your linebackers, most of your cornerbacks are not 6'5", 6'7". They're not. So this gives you an immediate reach advantage across the middle. Look at what Florida did with Pitts. This is a quick little screen pass to the tight end. It's snap, 1, 2, bang. I don't care how good the offensive line is. They ain't getting to him that quick. Gilbert's outstanding after the catch. So Washington is LeBron in shoulder pads. That is correct. That is correct. What do I think about D-Rob hitting the transfer portal? It was probably good for him. What's up, Dwayne RTR? Appreciate you being on, sir. I was going to show. I was going to show like 50 minutes ago. I'm still here running my mouth. I don't know if Georgia winning a natty takes away Bama from ruling the SEC. Georgia would have to beat. They'd have to beat Alabama soundly. They would have to win a national championship, and then they'd have to come back and do it a couple more years in a row before you would start to see that take away from the Alabama dynasty. It's just not that simple. Look at what Tampa's front seven did to the Chiefs. You're talking pro. You're talking pro. You know, all those guys, man, for Tampa, those guys are superstars. Now, granted, there's a lot of great guys on the Clemson offense, but the speed is the big difference. Big difference. I agree with you, Alex. If we win, it'd be much easier for us. But yeah, there's just so much going on out there right now with the amount of weapons that UGA has. It's not that I don't think Clemson can win. Clemson could certainly win that game. But the big problem is that Clemson, I don't think Clemson has the weapons on offense. When you lose a guy like Travis Etienne, the number 1 running back in the ACC ever. That's tough to replace. Ask me how I know when we lost guys like Todd Gurley and Nick Chubb. Listen, when we lost Todd Gurley, there's been nobody like him since. Now, Nick Chubb was great, don't get me wrong, but Todd Gurley, golly. It is definitely the best thing for D-Rob. He needs to go somewhere to show off his talent so that he can get into the NFL. Yeah, look at JT against our defensive line in that spring game, and that's how Clemson will look. I would imagine that's pretty accurate. JT Daniels didn't have to do a whole lot out there. I mean, there were targets everywhere. And here's the thing. JT Daniels is so much a student of the game that if he steps back, if he does a 3-step drop, that's 3 steps that offensive line or defensive line has to make to catch him. Now, there's going to be times I'm sure he gets tattooed. I'm sure it's going to happen. But this guy pops right back up. It is a valid comparison, but it's not. It's nothing I'm concerned about. And as somebody who's very careful about what he says about a team, This is what I see. The average amount of time that a quarterback gets in the pocket is like 3 to 5 seconds at the most. And after that, the ball's got to be gone. So is Clemson going to be able to do that on every play? No, they're not. They're not going to be after the quarterback every play for 4 quarters. It ain't going to happen. Those guys will be exhausted. But the big problem that you're going to run into is that even the times when you consistently do get close to the quarterback, he's got a ton of people he can throw it to. He can check down to. He's going to have a running back standing there waiting to catch. James Cook got hands like you wouldn't believe. It's going to be a dump off. Now here's what I'm talking about. Okay, so you say, okay, we're going to have a linebacker cover that guy. Okay, then yes, Chris Boyd, you are correct. Todd Gurley is the GOAT. So you step up to take away the check down. You either just opened up Eric Gilbert, Darnell Washington, Jermaine Burton, Karis Jackson, Dominic Blaylock, or somebody else out there. And let's not forget about Fitzpatrick, or Justin Robinson. Yeah, JT is super tough, super tough. So Daniel's probably right. There is going to be a lot of flags. There is going to be a lot of flags because there's going to be so many guys open. And that will be the deciding factor in the game as to whether or not the refs are calling the pass interference. That's going to be the factor. Whew. Georgia's going to have so many weapons all over the field. I just don't see a way to shut it down. I do not see a way to shut it down. And we're not talking about an average coach, an offensive coordinator. We're talking about Todd Monken. If you don't know who Todd Monken is, Todd Monken led the NFL in scoring and passing I don't know how many times. He's a certified you-know-what. Auburn will win the SEC championship game. Dave, it is too early to be drinking, sir. Too early. Stop it. Put it down. Had too much already. Dave. Put it down. Lord have mercy. These people. Too early. It's Saturday, 11 o'clock, man. Jeez. You can't drink this early unless you're fishing. And you ain't fishing because you in my chat section. You're trolling, but you ain't fishing. All right, guys. I appreciate y'all so much. I love all you guys. You guys are awesome. It really makes my day to get in here and have time to spend with you guys, talk about college football and razz each other back and forth. You guys are wonderful, including Dave. We love you, Dave. Yeah. So thank you for sending me your number, D4. I'll give you a call here in a little bit. I got some stuff I got to do around the house, but I'll get with you. I want to get you on the show. I definitely want to talk Texas football with you. My wife is a off-season Texas fan. We'll talk about that later. I don't know if it'll be a close game, but I think it'll be it'll be a 10-point game is what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking. So we'll see what happens. Anyway, I digress. You guys do me a favor. Have a great day. God bless. Go Dogs.